Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to be doing a general market update. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We also do have the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com if you want access to how I am navigating these markets. Let's go ahead and jump in. So Bitcoin now is trading for a very modest $60,600. Now, one of the things we've said many, many times is that Bitcoin will unfortunately not increase monotonically, okay? Meaning there will be drops along the way. And if you zoom out, you can see that Bitcoin had a fairly impressive run from 29K to 53K, a pullback down to the 39 to 40K area, and then another impulsive move to the upside. And one of the things we have done is we have overlaid this prior move over here with this one. This is not to say that it's going to play out exactly in the same manner. We know that it's not. It's just to give you an idea of what we experienced before and the emotions that came with those moves before. So that's what we're doing, all right? So if we take a bar pattern and then we're just gonna take the whole move. And if we just shift it over, you can see again how similar the move is, all right? This is not that out of the ordinary for Bitcoin to see a pullback. Now, it is my somewhat dubious speculation that we will not follow this move the entire way. I've said before, I don't think that's the case. But what we can say is that Bitcoin is technically in an uptrend, all right? Technically, it is in an uptrend. And being technically correct is in fact the best way to be correct. Some people have that confused and think it's not. In fact, it is the best way to be correct. So we look at this trend where we're going to get rid of this because clearly it's not going to follow that pattern precisely. We're going to get rid of that and we're just going to look at this trend and say, you know what? What did we speculate in the past? What did we speculate? We said, all right, it was in May and April, summer lull. You guys get it 3 to 6 months, below the 20 week, at least 3 months. We got 3 months, back above the 20 week, new all-time highs 6 months and 6 days later. And we are technically now in an uptrend. And the September drop, which was also speculated somewhat dubiously by historical data, ended up being what? A higher low. Okay, a higher low. And that's important, right? So we have a low, we have a higher low. We have a high, we have a higher high. It's an uptrend, right? It technically is an uptrend. Now, that doesn't mean the uptrend can't change eventually, but for now, Bitcoin is technically in an uptrend. And we could drop all the way down to, lower than 50K and still technically be in an uptrend, right? I mean, like it's not like we're not in an uptrend if we drop to 55K or something. Of course, no, we still are. We are in an uptrend. We would have to go a lot further down to not be in an uptrend. One thing, to keep an eye on would be, clearly we would not want to go below 40K, right? We would ideally not want to go below 40K because that was the prior higher low. And therefore, if we're going back down to that level, then we can no longer say that we're putting in another higher low. We were actually putting in the same level as last time. Another thing we can look at as well is the bull market support band. As always, this is where we in fact did hold the line, right? It never feels like you're going to hold it, but we in fact did hold the line. And historically speaking, after holding the line, and having an impulsive move like that, we've never actually gone back down below that level if history is any indication. Now, obviously, there's a first time for everything, but that's also something important to keep an eye out for. Some key areas to watch in the event of a pullback are, namely, the 20-day is probably going to be the first up to be tested if we end up dropping below 60K. Okay, so we might not drop below it, but if we do, we're looking at 57,442. Is where the 20-day is. And again, it's moving up relatively quickly. By tomorrow, it's probably going to be close to 58K, around 58K, right, when we get the new daily close. So keep that in mind, that around 58K could be an area of support in the event of a drop below. If we go below that, there's clearly some other moving averages in here. Some of them are somewhat important, some of them are not. The 100-day is somewhat interesting because while we held the line at the 20-week, it also corresponded to the 100-day moving average as well. And that one's currently all the way down at 46K. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's about to go to 46K or anything. In fact, it's probably not. But I'm just giving you guys an area to look out for in the event of a more sustained pullback. But regardless, before we get to the 20-week, which hopefully we're not going to, hopefully we don't go to the 20-week, but if we do, if we are en route to it, the 8-week could come to our rescue before that time. All right. So the 8-week now is already over 50K, right? It's approaching 52K. This would sort of be the area to watch out for in the event of a more sustained drop. You're looking at the 8-week moving average. All right. It's this pink line. So when we look at this, why do we say the 8-week? Well, in the past, the 8-week was more or less where we held our support above in the first leg, right? In this first leg over here. So that's why we want to look at it again, right? We want to look at it again because that's where we held it before. Additionally, we want to look at it because that's also where we held the line multiple times in 2013 as well, okay? And in a prime move, we stayed above the 8-week moving average. So if we were to do that again, then we need to stay above 52K. Otherwise, we're not staying above the 8-week SMA. Again, the 8-week SMA is going to move up fairly quickly for the next several weeks. If we go to our forecast, we can actually, let's look at this one. If we look at our forecast here, we can look at the projection of the 8-week moving average based on linear regression, as well as the 20-week SMA, the 21-week EMA based on the prices and whatnot, and see that the 8-week moving average could probably be 55K just within a few weeks or so, right? It's going to be over 55K within a few weeks, and that's more of a conservative estimate, right? That's assuming that we don't have an explosive move to the upside. Now, it is my thinking that it's better that Bitcoin has this pullback than the counter, the other thing that it could do. Okay, so we're going to talk about that as well. So one thing that Bitcoin could have done and could still theoretically do is to just go absolutely manic and in mania mode, which if it does, we'll be ready for it. But I think it's better to have a slow and steady move up, right? This is better for the market as a whole, in my opinion. It's better to just slowly move up with time. I like that a lot better than these parabolic rallies where everyone just starts buying in and then everyone gets super greedy and then everyone gets super mad when the market goes back down. I prefer slower, more methodical moves to the upside. So I just wanted to look at this market right now. Clearly, there's no guarantees we even break down below 60K. And so far, 60K has been holding as support. Now, if we look on the weekly time frame, I think it's interesting to look at this on the weekly time frame because right now we are actually right around the highest weekly closes before this run over here. All right, so it's certainly possible we spend some time in this area before continuing to break out higher. Remember, I understand that a lot of people get scared whenever the price pulls back, but the price of Bitcoin a week ago was 54K. Like literally the week of October 11th, we were at 54K. We were even at lower than 54K. And that was literally the week of October 11th. The week of October 4th, which still was this month, was at prices at 47K. So the problem is that I think a lot of people sort of lose track of where the prices come in such a short period of time. Then even a slight move to the downside is somewhat scary. But in fact, moves to the downside are completely normal. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, the market cycle still has a long way to go. I still think good things are coming for Bitcoin. We're going to have pullbacks along the way. We understand that. We expect that. That's business as usual. Nothing has changed there. Pullbacks are, in fact, good for the market. Right? It's good for the market to have a pullback. That way we don't get so overheated so quickly and we got to go through another 3 to 6 month lull in the market, right? It's better for the market, in my opinion, to stay at somewhat calm. Now, with that said, unfortunately, that is probably not the world we live in, and the market gets overheated to the upside more than it should, and then it sells off a lot more than it usually should. That's the market we live in, and hence that's why we have the premium list in thecryptoverse.com if you want to know how I navigate the crypto markets. You'll get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. I'll leave you guys with that, right? I mean, we've looked at the key areas to watch out for. 60K is holding so far. If that fails, 58K is the 20-day. Below that, I would look for the 8-week. Until next time, make sure you guys subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye.